Hello, welcome once again. This is your very program, Christians in Politics. I want to welcome you to another exciting episode because here on Redemption Television, we bring you the very best. And another thing about us is that at Christians in Politics, we ensure that you get the very best of your time. Another exciting 30 minutes of your informative, educative, and equipping time on TV. Welcome once again to this episode. Once again, my name is William C. LOHO, and today we'll be asking random questions around purpose and calling, and then the mission of the mission in the political arena. So I want to welcome you to sit back and relax as you stay tuned. However, as always, I have with me someone who you've met before if you've been a part of this program, and if you're just joining us, please stay tuned. You don't want to miss this one out. Someone who is of very great capacity, high caliber, someone who is very, very vital when it comes to dishing out wisdom bites. So I want you to enjoy, sit back, let me introduce him to you. He is a musician, an assistant pastor in charge of province. He is a dynamic youth leader. He is a life coach. He is also a peace ambassador and a drama minister, all packed in one. And today, joining me again in the studio, join me to welcome Pastor OMODELE. You're welcome, sir.
Thanks for
Thank you very much for coming once again.
You're welcome.
Into the studio to shed more light on
it's my pleasure.
Christians going into politics.
It's my pleasure.
There's been this argument from last discussion. You were able to establish a few points. The last time you were here, you mentioned a few things that we would like to also look a little bit in depth while we build on some other conversations. You were able to establish that it was quite okay, or it's good for a Christian to be in the political space. And I don't know, have you changed your mind from that position, or
I am still standing on that position?
That's beautiful,
it's not changing.
That's beautiful.
It's not changing.
And you also made it clear to us that there are people who've been into politics and who are still Christians and have not corrupted or been corrupted, as it were, who have not been influenced negatively by the common practice.
And I told you what they would do to such people.
They would try to resist them. Yeah, you mentioned
because
that.
They're coming in to block some people from compromise.
Or from taking advantage of the system.
Taking advantage of the system. But yes, they are there. And we just need to keep praying for them.
Yeah. And I think that's very commendable. But again, are there a few you want to just touch a little bit, because sometimes it's good to know both ways. Are there a few who have really gone into politics and not been able to deliver on their mandate, or not been able to stand the cause? What do you think?
Yes,
first
of
all,
course.
tell us a few about them.
Like I said, the people are in politics that are doing well, in passing lives. And we also have people who are in politics who are either Christian or Muslim, who are not delivering their mandates.
As well.
And that is part of what people will say, that politics is dirty, because some people will come and tell you what they will do, what they won't be able to do.
Right.
They will tell you, we will put light in your street, in your pockets, we'll be dishing money into your pocket every day,
your phone and
everything. And it's unfortunately, it's like that's what people want to hear. Somebody will come and share rice, share money, spray money on the election day, giving money to people in the house to house. And there are people who will collect and vote for them, because I told them those people are businessmen. How do you want? So when you say they are not delivering their mandates, it's relative. Why? Maybe the one that wants to go into politics has got to borrow 2 billion naira. Because no cash, no votes. So once he has settled you, he has given you 5,000 to vote for him. So don't expect anything from him in the next 4 years. Because he's a businessman.
In other words, he bought his way into office. He bought his way into, but I think that is what majority of people want. Some will say, whatever we have now is what we eat. If they don't say, so you see, that's the another area I wanted to see, that those who are unable to share money, share food, settle people, are deprived of the position. Anyone who comes to share money is a good man.
So when he gets there, he will tell them practically, what I thought I would meet is what I meet. We met debt in the cover of the treasury, so you have to be patient with us and go and chase them away.
And yet we're buying bigger stuff.
Yeah, of course, they have to settle themselves. So they buy cars, exotic cars, bulletproof cars, so that if you want to stone them or kill them, they are secure.
You have no access.
Everything. So now we have some people too who will say they want to. I tell people as politicians, I say, don't go and tell people this is what I will do. Tell them, by the grace of God, if we get there, as God will help us, we'll be able to do what we should do. Why not? You're telling me that if I get there, provide 20 million jobs. Have you seen what it was there? What is being there?
What you're going to meet in?
What they're going to meet there. So see the reality of this, and then be faithful to the people. Let them be transparent. And when people see this, they will love you. They will work with you. So not being able to deliver their mandate is relative.
Right.
Either they have bought themselves in, or the reality they met on ground is not epic, or that there are some cabal, some cliques who are, and I tell you, there are
forces
who are there, who will tell whatever, whether it's the president or the governor, and say you are welcome. Manifesto, whatever outside, that is outside. Now we are in the game. This is the way the game is played, and of course, politics is a game of compromise, a game of it's a diplomatic game, where of course you have to be wise too when you make decisions. Why you want to do this? Because you don't just there and say it's happening over there. This is what we're going to do. No, you consider several things, several factors that encompasses the terrain before you make decision. That's where wisdom comes in.
Yeah. And again, before I let go on that point, you mentioned some striking things that caught my attention. You talked about those going into voting and then buying or selling their vote, as it were, because someone came on the show and told us that people who actually vote most of the time are commercial voters. Those who go there for the money. And that's what you've said in passing. So now, looking at that terrain, these politicians have a justification that, well, we bought your vote, we paid you for the vote.
Yeah, but
now I'm going to make back whatever, or fund back my benefactors or my creditors, as it were.
Yeah.
So that becomes a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Yes. So now what we're saying is, how do we now get it right past that checkpoint? Because if those who commercialize their votes are the ones who eventually get to vote, whether they're good or they're bad, into office, what happens to those who are not willing to sell?
That is where the challenge is. Like I said the other time, you can't share money, you can't get election, you can't get votes. Yet there are good people who doesn't have money to share, but they have good intention, and they want to go there. You can see, you've seen some people that some people will gather and purchase ticket for, and unfortunately too, somebody wants to contest for the position of governor, and you're asking him to come and buy 50 million interest form,
the
50 million interest form, you know.
What is it printed?
And some people will now you can see. So make it so simple that I can come and get my form at a zero cost. Maybe we are going for competition, we're going to get the form. Then, if it's not having so much commitment before it gets there, may I tell you that you have to settle some caucus leader, some Kinikon leader, step by step. It's in stages. So if you don't get to a friend was telling me he has to feel every time he goes there, he goes with thousands of money or millions of money of naira to settle them. And of course, like I said, it's a game of compromise. Because to get and they will collect and say, well, we have collected your money, other people are still coming, we will meet at the election day. If I am coming into politics, position...
They are not playing with you. As in, they are not playing with you.
Where other people have the opportunity to play their own. Well, one political law in Oyo State of blessed memory, Adedibu, Baba Adedibu will tell you, that is the money you are bringing, we will collect it, but it's not yet your turn.
Oh boy.
So it's a matter, and that man will collect the money and share that money from his whatever to the least person. The Lagbaja has brought the money, somebody has brought the money, I have told him it's not yet his turn, but he cannot collect. So if I'm coming in, the best way to do it, if I'm coming into contest, I'm not going to spend money that we have to go to bank and borrow on somebody,
put
somebody,
myself under
whoever
undue
buys me
pressure.
my interest form is having a say over my life when I get to government. You don't get that?
I get that. But the point is, what if these persons of interest decide to buy you the form? You know that the intent of buying that form. What do? You can't go back and buy your own form by yourself. Or how do you
That's
manage?
why I said it has to be made simple. All this interest form, whatever form, the money goes to the political party. So that the chairman of the
in
party...
other words, they use it as a fundraiser, or could it be
fundraiser, forget.
Could it also be that it's a way of screening out people who...
It's not a matter of screening out. Somebody will have money, doesn't have what it takes to rule.
Right.
Somebody doesn't have money, but he has wisdom. What does Joseph have? Does he brought money out of the prison before you can? No, intelligence. People that want to really lead, rule. But they will not get there. Somebody will not ask money back to get it, whether they have anything to do or whatever. So
now, before we go on a quick short break, I'd like for you to address, based on what you've just said earlier, there's this part where you talked about being honest, not promising what you can't hinge your promise on a, how do I call it, on a maybe situation. But again, I realize that, I don't want to say recently, but most people don't like the truth.
And that's the
so
problem.
how do you get past those? How do you win them on your side when you are that plain or simple? Because I don't want to spread it.
Somebody
beyond.
said, "Olo Toki Soshelu, a righteous man does not engage in politics." People don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear something that will tingle their ears. No matter, even if you not get there, you don't do it. They just love to hear it. And that's another problem we have.
Yeah.
So let the person come, you screen this guy, is qualified, he might not have the money, but let's support him. Then if the interest form is not that costly, then I will not be under pressure to settle to please some people that got me the interest form. So if that is out of the way, I can get my interest form for 5,000 naira and go for the election than to come and pay 40 million or 25 million naira. Excuse me? Is that guaranteed that you are going to win the primary?
No.
Not to talk of you are going for the election. So you see, people just waste money, they raise money to spend by the party somehow
Body
start to be elected because they have to run the political party. But let this be that whoever is truthful and you know, and you screen that they are good, they have good standing in the society, support them to win the election. When they get there, they have not sold you have not bought your election, your vote, you have not sold your right. So if you misbehave, then you take him out. It's as simple as that.
Well, we will come back to continue from where you left off. So, as it is, you're seeing how it is going. We are keeping it real here on Christians in Politics. No lies. We talk to practical people who have experience, who are willing to share their passion to make sure Nigeria gets better. And that's all we're about. So we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Don't blink an eye. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. Before we went on the break, we had someone very special in the studio, and he was really, really keeping it real with us. And we see, luckily enough, after the break, he's still with us, and he's going to be shedding more light on some of the topical issues. I just want you to stay. And in case you're just joining us, this is Christians in Politics right here on RTM. So welcome back. So welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Before the break, you were talking about how to get past people who don't want to hear the truth while vying for office, and that truth is actually necessary because you don't want to put yourself in some corners that will become difficult.
Very necessary. Become
difficult to really do. Now, we talked some of that time when you were on the program, we talked about having been in politics, having as a nation, having run political dispensation for almost 24 years and not having a handful or a good number representing the church in the political terrain. How would you describe it, the change I know there's been changes recently in the church. Are there regrets? Are there things? What are some of the things that the church
there
saw?
are regrets, a lot
Please,
of regrets. That's
walk us on a little bit.
we just discovered that, number one, whoever rules makes the policy,
Right.
and the policy binds whether you are a Christian or a
not.
Muslim or traditionalist. So, and Nigeria secularization says the government makes policy. The example is the time of COVID-19. So that time the government said do this, and we have to obey. Everybody obeys. You can imagine some churches will not open, and you see some churches that open secretly, and you see agents of the government coming to lambast them, insult them. One of them said, "You call yourself pastor? Is it because of offering? You know, insulting men of God that God has instituted as a blessing." But because the church we slept so deep sleep, so much that we've left the governance to, let me call them a name, to the hands of those who are playing it. And you now woke up and say, they have cheated us. It's like we're not having voice. We now want to come like a flood. They're waiting. They built the wall and partitioned it with iron. So what we can do now as a church is to come up and be intentional about this. Now, don't go for, you want to go for one political candidate or whatever. Start now. Thanks to God for what the Redeemed Christian Church of God is doing. And some other churches, we have CSRs, now we have Christian social responsibility, where we feed people, build bridges, boreholes, and thereabout. That is naturally what the government should do. What whoever is in government should do, but it's not there, it's not available. I will say we don't have money in this nation. We have money. We have somebody, a single person is embezzling billions of naira. I won't call it dollar because I don't spend dollar in Nigeria. We have this money stacked somewhere in somebody's house. Somebody built a house and stack it up with money and lock the door. And then they said there is no money. And people are suffering. Now churches are trying to do this so that people can see what the government should do. So now let's start from there, at least, for them to see the true light, because we are the light of the world. So if we start doing that, gradually, of course, and I still want to tell you, forever, if any Christian wants to go to government, it should be ready to battle with power that be. But if God is, what of Daniel and his guys? Practically, I mean, of them, and they are very minute. But yet they stood their ground, their lives shine so much, influence. And the king said, these guys, they might not be my people, but I want to place them upon the government. And Daniel was preferred above all.
They earned prominent places.
Prominent places, yes, the power that be ganged against him, yes, because he stood with God, God stood for him. But it might not be that easy when we say.
Yeah.
But when we get to the battle, once it is God sending, that's about calling. It's a calling. The purpose is there. Calling is there. Calling you there, that God will back you up. You will see people, when people see those who are pleased, who are doing what they should do as a leader, people will support. People are not, they are not fools.
True.
When they see that you have their thoughts as art, they will back you up. Let anybody come and rubbish you, they will face the person headlong. But unfortunately, church, we are behind. Seriously behind.
Talking about building gates and building the wall and putting iron bars. If the church is waking up now, do you still see a fighting chance?
Of course, yes. If Jesus tarries,
right.
we will catch up. But the road still
is a very long fight.
Yes. Like I told somebody, I said, you are coming into politics as a Christian. Now you go and fund or raise your own political party, which is very minute to the ruling party. Even the opposition party in Nigeria is as big as anything. Now, there is nothing, you can't achieve anything. What you can do is to penetrate the ruling party, that existing party that's there, stay there, be a Christian, stand your feet there, and then you permeate from there, from the local government chairman to the House of Assembly in the state. Then from there you can contest whether for governorship or you are going for just small like that. But let it be said that when they come to you as a child of God, they will say this one is different. That's just it. The only thing is the compromise we have here and several other setups, because politicians are very, very deadly. That's why some people say it's dirty. The day you try to be a politician is the day they will tell you when your grandfather kidnapped somebody in the year 1604 that became, and somebody said, they said, if you want to confuse a politician or your opponent, just find a very big lie, tell it against him. He will be battling with that lie. You have gone. So yeah, you just have to. So it's a game. This is more than. It's good to kabash, to speak in tongues. It's good to know the word of God. It's good to come to church and pray and preach. But it is beyond that. I said it the other time. Coming to the bank is to withdraw your money. You go into the society. You go to the market to spend the money. Go to the market and spend the money with them.
It's all right. Against aside,
you might ask me. I have voter card.
All right. It's good that you've defended that. Aside, just maybe coming in as participants, how else do you think the church can encourage its members, its citizens, to take active roots in the system?
I have said this.
We understand the place of the principle of the seed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some seed won't grow as fast as you expect.
Yes, sir.
But are taking roots, taking our place.
Yes, sir.
I'm not talking about just a few who want to take offices or who hope to take offices. Generally, collectively, are there things we can do?
We should join the politics at our grassroots.
Right.
They don't know you at the top. They know you from here. Your impact starts from here. Your impact stays more. I can't stay here and go and impart Kano or any local government in Kano, whether Sumaila or whatever local government. This is my local government, to say, in quotes, stay here, play the politics here. If they are going for political rally and you say they are fighting, you don't join them to fight. Just gather yourself, be singing praises, praise, worship to God, be telling people what God can do. It's not compulsory to fight. You see, all these are there, and unfortunately, again, like I said, crisis, threats, another game of the politics that want to pull something out, put cutlass or knife. Everybody will disappear. Safety. You go to your father's house. But I think politics is being what do you call it? Cleansed these days somehow. That people can see the reality. These days, you can't just cajole people again. We're no more fools. People are seeing things. And if the government is not careful, it will be very serious. But don't let me say that so that I don't become a prophecy.
Please don't go and put yourself in a position you don't want to. You don't have answer to.
There is no position. What I'm saying is I don't say that people will rise against the government. I don't want to turn into a prophecy.
That's what I'm saying now. So they don't say you're an agitator as it were, because the government is.
But the government should do the right thing.
Sometimes things to say. So talking about merit, I want you to talk to us about a few and some of the things that a Christian in politics can actually do when in office after you've won the election. Now, some of the things that really should be the things that should matter to them, aside all the struggle and all the things that we've mentioned, are there some other things you feel the government should?
It's as simple as what we are looking for in governance. Governance is talking about leadership,
right?
Managing human resources,
right,
and other possible resources we have. And when you get there, people want to see who you are. They want to see what you stand for. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Impart the life of the citizens. Let them see that the masses see that you have their love at heart. That is what you are going there to do. It's not to go there and foment trouble or embezzle money or begin to amass money to yourself. Let them see it clean and clear. That was it. I don't know. I can't remember the country in Africa. The man, he was in governance. He didn't build a personal house. He only has a Volkswagen. That was, they call it the poorest president. Was he poor? He wasn't poor. Because everything he has done, when his end of his children appear in the society, they will respect him. He retired from the government as a president and went back to the house he left there before he got there. That is it. You have to be selfless. Am I right?
Yeah, that's English.
So go there the Bible says, let your light so shine before. Let people see it. That's a problem. If you do that, people will know that you are there. What is the big deal in Nigeria that we can't make Nigeria better? We are just not appropriating our resources the right way. What are we in politics for? You manage the resources and let it spread to everybody. But these days, it's for
God knows who.
God knows who.
So, I'm still particular again about the church because you're a father in faith.
I'm still a son. I'm learning. I have fathers.
Well, we would say you are a father.
Glory be to God.
You may have your own father.
Glory
you get
be
it,
to
which
God.
is also our father.
Okay. Glory be to
steps
God.
to it. Let's leave it there.
Amen.
And back to the point we were saying. I think there should be a place, because part of the challenges you've mentioned is that some people who buy tickets want to dominate, want to have a say.
It's a game.
Want to manipulate the process or the incumbent officer.
Whoever borrows you money is your Lord.
The Bible actually said so. The Bible is clear about that the lender, the borrower is subject to the lender. And that's true. So now I am thinking, don't we have Christians who can finance or support, as it were? I'm talking from the financial obligation now, because that's one place a few persons have a thought to. Maybe friends, maybe organizations, maybe association, Christian bodies who could come up and
yes, of course, it's not bad if that is a
particular candidate.
It's not bad if that is a game for us to come up. But I've noticed that Christians don't even support Christians these days. In fact, majority of don't let me.
Don't give numbers.
Few Christians maybe they don't have trust in our Christian brothers, or they don't believe that they can get to the position they are going for. They would rather prefer to sponsor any other thing that does not relate with that. A single person can finance the presidency or anybody going to any position together. But then they have to also have the calling to finance. As you are financing other people's business, financing other people's whatever, you can finance. If that is, okay, this is the person we want to take there, doesn't have money, we back him up, and we are not expecting the kickback when he gets to the government. So that we will not get there and we say 80% of the contract must come to me because I sponsored you.
I think maybe the church actually need to do a little more enlightenment in that regard. When we meet ourselves as church, I think, because beyond the money bags willing to sponsor such, I think the church too need to work on that place of unity, or coming out, rallying behind
church. Doing that might be a challenge, because
not coming as a church,
yes, building individuals, yes, of course, yes,
to support whatever we know that represent our
we're
general.
Not saying it, we're not talking about it now. We're not saying support your brother, support this, any assist, any support they need, give it to them so that they can get there. Mind you, we're not going there to compete. We're not saying those who are there have not. Maybe when we get there, we can do better. But somebody is there now doing it. Yeah. Let's give kudos to them. They are there holding forth. But when we get there, it's not to say, okay, when I come there as a president of Nigeria, I serve everybody, whether Muslim or Christian or traditional. Everybody enjoys what the government is. Then they will see your light and say, this one is different. Not that it is my own people alone.
It's all right. For want of time, we will be wrapping up from there. But before we let you go, sir, it's been wonderful having you in the studio. It's been
my pleasure,
wonderful
sir.
Listening to you, dishing out so passionately. However, we would like to know a little bit about you, because some persons are watching and they are seeing you maybe for the very first time. You are a musician, you are a drama minister. Is there a place where we can get one or two of your materials to have a better connection with you?
Well, to the glory of God, God has helped us as his minister of the word and music and peace ambassador, youth enthusiast, and am I correct with that, my grandma?
No, we just keep going.
So on YouTube, just type OMODELE David. You see a lot of our materials there, and then of course the biggest YouTube I have is the Redeemed Christian Church of God. From there, that is where we are, and God has been helping us. We appreciate you joining us. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you for having me, sir.
So thank you once again, viewers. You've had it for today. We've had a wonderful time in the studio, and I believe you've been writing, you've been learning so much, you've been listening to this kind of contents, shaping your mind. The idea is to have a mind shift from what was to what should be, from what is to how it can get better. That's all we stand for. We bring you more content, we bring you juicy content, we bring you incisive conversations that keep you on the go, that help you to know what ought to be. That is our focus. Once again, this is Christians in Politics. My name is William T. LOHO, and I'll be back with you same time, same station next week. Have a beautiful day.